Good morning, everybody. I am finally heading back out on the road. I am making my way down to Florida for this trip. It has been pretty cold up here in Oklahoma, so I am very excited to get out of this cold weather. Last winter, I pretty much skipped all winter in Baja, so I have been dying to get someplace warmer. Now, like I mentioned in my last video, this trip is not going to be a solo trip for me, and I will probably take some solo trips here and there, but I may not have to take very many solo trips anymore because I am dating someone. Now, this may come as a shock to some of you and not so much to the rest of you. So we've been dating for the past 3 months. It's still new, obviously. 3 months is not a very long time. However, things have been going great, and we thought it was a perfect time to go on a long road trip together. Now, I am a little bit nervous about announcing this, so please bear with me. I try to keep as much of my private life off of my YouTube channel as possible. However, this is such a big thing that I needed to share it with you all. So you are about to meet my boyfriend, Marco. He lives about 45 minutes away from me, and I'm on my way to pick him up right now. He's never really been on camera before like this, so he may be a little quiet at first, but he's excited to try it out. So I'm going to head over to his house, pick him up, and then we're on our way to Florida. I think we're going to try to make it to Georgia today. So we've got a long travel day ahead. Okay, so we've made it into Arkansas, and one of my goals on this long road trip that we're doing today is I need to get some magnets. I've been collecting magnets at each state that I go to, and I need to get Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia today. I'm in Arkansas right now, and I've stopped to get gas, so we're gonna run in and get breakfast, and I'm going to try to find an Arkansas magnet for my refrigerator. So yesterday was a very long day. I left at 4 a.m. and we didn't get to this Cracker Barrel until 9 p.m. last night. The good thing though is this Cracker Barrel, it's in Macon, Georgia, and it was we felt pretty safe here last night. The traffic noise is a little loud, so if you can hear that in the background, I apologize. But other than that, we had a pretty uneventful night. Now, one thing that we knew was going to be a problem is the size of my van. It's small for me, I'm 5'9", but Marco is 6'4", so it is very small for him. So that was a little uncomfortable, and we quickly realized that if we're going to travel, we're going to need something bigger. On our way down here, every time we would pass a big RV, Marco would point at it and be like, that's what we need. And we may have to look into that eventually. But today we're making our way on into Florida. We're going down to Naples, Florida. And the good thing about this trip is Marco's not gonna have to sleep in the van every single night. We're actually meeting up with some friends of his, and we're gonna be staying with them throughout this trip. So we're gonna go ahead and head out, and I will pick you guys back up when we get to Florida. Marco and I made our way down the long Florida peninsula to Naples. We spent time with his friends, so I didn't do a ton of filming, but one of the first things we wanted to do was go to the beach. Cold? Oh my gosh. It's cold. Oh my gosh. No. After spending a few days in Naples, we went to check out Sanibel Island, and it was very beautiful. A few days later, we decided to drive over to Miami. All right, so we've made it to Miami, and my first impressions, I haven't seen much of the city yet, but my first impressions are it's very beautiful here. However, I do not like the traffic. I don't like bringing my van into highly congested traffic areas, and Miami is one of them. So hopefully I don't have to drive my van too much today. Alright, so we came to downtown so that we could take some good pictures. So now that that's done, we're going to go find something to eat because we're all starving. Parking? Mm-hmm. Oh, well that's... So I thought there was going to be something cool down at the bottom of that, but it's just parking. All right, so we made it back from Miami and we had a great time. Our time here in Florida has been amazing. The weather here is unbelievable. It's been in the 70s and 80s all week long. It's been perfect. The water's still a little cold, but other than that, everything's been great. Tomorrow is actually our last full day here in Florida, and I'm not going to get the camera out because we're going to spend that time with Marco's friends. We had some downtime tonight, not really anything going on, so I decided to come out here and talk to you guys a little bit. But I'll be picking the camera back up again the day after tomorrow. All right, so we're on our way back to Oklahoma, and we're about 4 hours into the trip back, and Marco has found a Peruvian... All right, so we're on our way back to Oklahoma and we're about 4 hours into the trip and it's lunchtime. Marco has found a Peruvian restaurant. That's hard for me to say. A Peruvian restaurant, and the food looked really good, so we're gonna go check it out. What is this? You eat this? It looks like corn. I'm not gonna eat it. Okay, so now that we're done eating, we have one errand that we need to run real quick. So Marco's aunt asked us to pick up 10 Salteñas. Salteñas. And we found a place here in Gainesville, Florida where we can pick those up. So we're gonna go do that real quick. We're gonna get a cool bag or a cooler bag. Really? Oh. Good morning, everybody. So we stopped here at this Dunkin' Donuts and had breakfast, and we're about to head out on the road. However, there was a couple of things that I wanted to talk about before we did that. One was the way that Marco has to sleep in the van. So Marco is 6'4", so he can't lay like I do in the bed. So what he does is he takes a pillow and he will lay it here on my bench seat so that he can lay long ways instead of laying, well, actually he's laying width ways on the bed instead of long ways. So we had to be a little creative with that. And last night was kind of a crazy night. We stayed at another Cracker Barrel here in Jasper, Alabama, and when we pulled up, this, from what I've seen so far, this is a pretty small town, and the Cracker Barrel was even outside of town, so it was quiet. Everything looked great. I felt completely safe here. However, last night at around midnight, we had a storm come through, a severe thunderstorm, and we had about 70-mile-an-hour winds, and I actually caught a power flash that happened right behind us on camera. So I'll pop that up on the screen so you all can see that. Oh, shoot. And then after the storms blew through, we fell asleep, and then around 3 o'clock in the morning, we were woken up by people yelling. There was a Waffle House that was right across the street behind us, and there were people over there, a group of people over there yelling, which I've heard before, sleeping in Cracker Barrel parking lots. It's not that big of a deal. So Marco and I took the window covers down off the back windows, and we were watching to make sure that it didn't come over to where we were at. And it just kept getting worse and worse, and then all of a sudden we heard like 5 or 6 very loud pops. And I can't say exactly what they were on YouTube, but you get the point. And so after that, the police came, everybody left. There was no ambulance, so I don't think anybody got hurt. And normally I would have left that area. However, after everything calmed down, everything was quiet, and we were outside of town, so I didn't feel unsafe after that happened. So we went to sleep and slept the rest of the night. Nothing else happened the rest of the night, thankfully. But we're gonna head back out on the road and make it back to Oklahoma today. We made our way back to Oklahoma, and overall, Marco and I had an amazing and successful first trip. We both love to travel, so this is just the beginning. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and we will see you in the next one.